cinematographer, and we set up to try to tell this story as seasons in the life of a boy. So we wanted each of the episodes to be stylistically a little different, to have a unity, but to express this season of a lifetime. When we remember sometimes our past, we wanted that past to have like that seal of that's the time of the Aunt Nemesia, that's the time of the father, that's the time of Jai and Jeremy. So with Jimena, one of the things we did was to shoot with different set of lenses. So it was also really fun to try to look around the world for still cinematography lenses that could help us shape each of the episodes, maintaining kind of a unity. Some of them at the beginning are a little bit harsher in breaking the light, and then during childhood the colors are a little bit softer, and then in the adolescence it's a little bit silvery at nights, and in the last episode the colors are a little bit more true, but the background it's softer, so we can focus on the main character and finish with closer shots. So all those perhaps things that we, like it happens in films, it doesn't necessarily land as a mental thing, but we wanted to give you that feeling, and also to have the freedom of playing a little bit with film genre, so we could treat all these seasons separately.
And the animals, which I think it's very important. I think that we wanted to give these to Sujo because he's a very special boy, and that's something that we as Mexicans have in these rural areas where terrible crimes are committed and terrible situations like landscapes of war, as we call Fernanda and me, these situations are happening. There's also a wonderful and just so inspiring beauty of the nature. So at some point we were talking, Fernanda and me, that nature is just not aware of our troubles. So that's something that we wanted also to portray in the film.
And you really feel that peace. As we're talking about Sujo, could you, and the cast aren't with us, but could you perhaps talk a little bit about the cast, and perhaps through you we can get to know them a bit?
Well, our main actor, Juan Jesus Varela, is a very talented young man, and we met him, we casted him for Identifying Features, a previous film. He was 14 or 15 years old, and I think at the time he really discovered that he wanted to become an actor. And for us it was like a mutual process of becoming mature, him deciding that he wanted to act, and us becoming more mature directors. And it's also for us important to recognize that if the conditions in Mexico were different, perhaps we would have found him in a film school or an acting school. And so for us, having him as the main actor, it's also what we wanted to say in the film, that there's so much talent, there's so much strength, and also so much hope in youth, and the conditions are sometimes what determines or what makes these kids' destinies a little more complicated. In the case of Juan Jesus, he's determined to act, and so we casted around him. We worked with other teenagers from the rural areas in which we shot, and then the little kids also we casted them in those communities. The way we worked with them was through a theater company from Mexico City, offering them an experience of sensibility through fiction. So we could offer them something, I don't know if say memorable, but something that could
nurturing,
that could nurture their lives independently of the film. And with this company, it was really great because it helped us overcome some of the prejudices we had about non-professional actors, like you cannot do several takes, you cannot do repetition, you have to surprise them and you have to improvise for them to perform. And we discovered that if we give them enough stimulation, emotional and in terms of imagination, they could give us 10 or 12 takes. And sometimes it was, for us, it was really wonderful. One of them would say, no, I need another take. Do you want to talk a little bit about the actresses?
Well, we have professional actresses, of course, and that's the reason why we could manage the kids. They were always in the character. They were aunts all the time, Yadira Perez and Carla Garrido. They are both professional actresses, so they were like the bridge for us to be able to work with the kids, because the kids were really little. They were barely 4 years old. In fact, the young Sujo turned 4 when we were making the film. So it was a challenge, but it was a great experience for all of the crew.
It must have been so rewarding. I just want to congratulate you, and I'm sure everybody does who's just watched the film, on really, I think, making a film about love. I think the end of this film is one of the most moving things that I've seen for a long while, and it's very precious, the thing you've made, and I just want to thank you.
On the contrary, thank you, Andrea. Really, it's an honor to be able to talk with you and screen the film that we love so much here with all of you. So much fun.
Thank you for coming.